Because of Trump's narcissism, more than 130 Secret Service workers have tested positive for COVID-19. This story here from Metro. More than 130 U.S. Secret Service workers have been diagnosed with coronavirus in the wake of President Trump's re-election campaign. The infections have sidelined 1 in 10 officers, with the outbreak partially linked to President Trump's heavy schedule of rallies in the weeks leading up to the November 3rd election. He is hurting the very people who are hired to protect him. Imagine having a boss that is this self-obsessed, this narcissistic, that he completely disregards your health and actually puts you into situations where you can get COVID-19. Remember when he was in the hospital and he left like a day later to go and wave at supporters from the truck, and you had 2 Secret Service agents driving him around in there in a hermetically sealed vehicle. I would love to know if those 2 got COVID-19, by the way. They're never specific about this because they don't want to release, these are always leaks. But I can almost guarantee you those 2 in there who were forced to drive that dipshit around, I can almost guarantee you they were 2 of the people that got COVID-19. Just, it's disgusting. And this is in addition, of course, to people in his circle that are getting COVID-19, still to this day getting it, like Corey Lewandowski, one of his advisors, and his chief of staff, Mark Meadows. But let's look at the bigger picture here. Trump campaign rallies led to more than 30,000 coronavirus cases. This is from Stanford Research, and this is from, a couple weeks ago. So, and by the way, these are the numbers that we know about. It's likely a lot more. It continues to amaze me how anybody can find any piece of this man that is worth celebrating. He's just completely disgusting. Let's also, of course, look at the even bigger picture when it comes to COVID-19 in the U.S. This is daily new confirmed COVID-19 cases per million people. This is the rolling 7-day average. This gives you the best idea of how each country is doing. Well, let's take a look at the U.S. Again, this is the only country you'll find that has a trend like this, a line like this, where they never really got out of the first wave. It was a first wave into a second wave into a massive third wave that just continues to increase. The U.S. right now is nearing 200,000 cases a day. It took a few months. Back in April, May, it took a couple months to hit 200,000 cases. Now the U.S. is getting over 100,000 cases a day. It's growing every day, and they're almost getting to the point now where it's going to be over 200,000 cases a day. This is a total failure of leadership. And you look at other countries. Look, the UK doesn't have a good second wave at all, but they're leveling off a bit now. And by the way, conservative government here in the UK. Germany, same thing. Most countries in Europe are seeing a second wave like this. Canada also has a second wave it's all relative, right? Like, these second waves are not good, but when you look at these numbers, I mean, any country matched up to the U.S. looks pretty good. And of course, countries that actually take it seriously, Japan, Cuba, Australia. Also, of course, all islands here. It's a little easier to kind of close your borders to the outside world. But Japan had a mask mandate. They took masks seriously from the start. Numbers never got too big. Cuba, one of the first to almost completely eradicate the virus and actually send their doctors all over the world to help other countries. And Australia as well seems to be doing pretty well. So there are a number of things that Trump could have done that, of course, he just didn't do. Masks being the most obvious. As a leader, he could have led, told his supporters who are already brainwashed to wear a mask. It's important that you wear a mask. And there was a plan, as I've discussed a million times, the plan from the USPS to send out 5 masks to every household back in April. Trump stopped that from happening. So this isn't even just incompetence. This is direct actions that led to more people getting sick and dying. There also could have been, of course, more of a stimulus, an actual investment into people that lost their job. Other countries have real wage subsidies. Germany, I believe, covering about 80 to 90% of your wages if you're not working or can't work, or paying you essentially to stay home. Canada, of course, had a $2,000 a month CERB, which was then folded into unemployment insurance. But other countries had, more financial help for their citizens. The U.S. has nothing. And this is going to continue basically until Joe Biden gets in. Trump's not going to do anything now between now and inauguration. So we're going to have to wait for Joe Biden and then hopefully have a Senate that will actually pass something. But at the very least, that Biden's going to do what he can in terms of executive orders. And he also has the man that led the Ebola crisis or the response to it as his chief of staff. He was highly regarded in his response to Ebola. So hopefully they'll have a better, a more thorough reaction to COVID-19 and doing what they can to stop this pandemic. But man, just it's been a complete failure of Donald Trump. And I'm just thinking of the hundreds of thousands of people that are getting it every day, and the people that, even if you've survived, there are long-term health impacts of COVID-19. So often what you hear the media focus on is the death rate. Oh, well, the death rate's going down, which sure, that's good, of course, but there are long-term health effects of having COVID-19, including insomnia, depression, anxiety, damage to the heart, damage to the lungs, damage to the brain. So even if you survive it, it has a long-term impact on you that will also, of course, as an American, it's going to infect, but potentially or impact your health insurance. All those people now have pre-existing conditions. So we really don't know to what extent the damage that COVID-19 has caused. We're really not going to understand that until years into the future.